Thank you very much for coming here. With Guillaume, we will present you a customer success story based on our ICM customer. So, ICM is the Institute for the Brain and the Spine. Just a very quick overview of who are 2Ceresci. We are a designer, manufacturer, and integrator of hardware for servers. We provide hardware for storage and compute. So the range of our application. We can provide standard and on-demand servers, but not only from the single component, but we can provide a full data centers with rack and servers for storage and compute. So, for ICM, their needs were not so big, but they wanted to have a big storage for cold data, in addition to fast storage data. The capacity needed was about 3 petabytes. They wanted high availability, so some replication to have their data on one site, but not just double the number of data for the high availability, but have 3 replication of the data. And for sure, at this time, they want 3 petabytes, but they would expect to increase this storage up to 5 petabytes in a few months or a few years. I will let Guillaume talk about this.
Yes, about the use case for ICM, the goal for them was quite easy. They are Brain Institute, so they have a lot of hardware that is doing acquisition of picture and so on, so like microscope. And for that, they have what they call their first high-speed storage. So they were putting all the data on all-flash platform because the hardware that was doing the acquisition required a lot of IOs to do that. And then before the joint offer we made with 2Ceresci, they were using tape. So the data was moving from full flash to tape. It was good for them because the amount of capacity here for the high-speed storage was quite low and huge capacity for the tape. But the main issue they have back to this time is that for the researchers, the people who were making operation on this data, they were asking to retrieve the data from the tape to launch some workload and to some analysis on the data. And for them it was an issue because each time someone was asking that, a guy had to go and to take the right tape and to retrieve the data. So what they call the time to first bit, to retrieve the data for them to launch the process on it, was very high, and it was not sustainable for the use case. So, okay, we did the acquisition of the data, but then if you want to launch something on it, you have to wait a couple of hours or several hours to get the data. So their goal was to say, okay, we have very hot data on the high-speed storage and very cold data on the tape, and maybe the right thing to do is to have something, let's say, warm data in between, just to say, okay, the time to the first bit will be very fast, because with OpenIO, if you get the data, the download is starting right away. So they build this layer between the high speed and the tape, and they choose OpenIO with the hardware from the ICM, but I know that you will talk more about that later. So this is what they did is to put what they call the MAID, is a big storage platform, not as fast as the full flash side of the platform, not as slow as the tape, and it was OpenIO in between to do that. Just to give you a quick information, they are using iRoads, which is also an open source software to move the data between all the the storage buckets. Yep.
So the first idea was replication, simple replication, which means for their needs, so 3 petabytes, we need to put 7 GBODs. So GBOD, it's just a bunch of disks. Imagine it's like a big box with a lot of hard drive inside. Okay, 60 hard drive to be clear. So 7 GBODs fully filled with hard drives. So we reach 3.3 petabytes of data. But with the replication, because they wanted 3 replication at the end, we need 1 time, 2 times, 3 times of the same hardware configuration, which means nearly 10 petabytes of raw data to be able to only use 3.3 petabytes. In this situation, it means a lot of extra drives, a lot of GBODs, which is not optimized and very expensive. So another solution was to think about object storage and eraser coding. So as Guillaume said, the MAID service has been moved and support with OpenIO object storage.
Yes. So why they have chosen OpenIO for many reasons. First, it was to build an S3 cluster, so we were compatible with S3, which was the first point. But a few things that were very important. First, the proximity with 2CSI, because we are working with 2CSI since again a few years. So it was first a good point for them. We did all the presentation together. So it was important for the ICM and also a good proximity with them. This is something that people are always saying about OpenIO. It's what we put behind support quality, but usually people are saying about OpenIO that we are very easy to contact. It's easy to discuss with us, and the proximity with the technical team is very useful for our customers, and this is really something that that we want to push at OpenIO. The conscience technology, I have a presentation at the end of this day. I will explain everything about the conscience and how works OpenIO. So if you want to know more about that, I will explain it. It's the last session, I think, in this room. So I will explain it if you want to have more information, but it was really a key for them, our ability to drive the load and the data based on information we take from the hardware. The open source model, it was really important for ICM. I see that there is Atempo there, and I know that we tried also to replace iRoads by Atempo, but one of the main, they really want to put only open source in their infrastructure. So sorry about that, but this was also one of the key point for them, the limitless scalability, because as you said, they have now, I think, 3 petabytes, but they know that, you know, when they are taking pictures or they are doing acquisition from their, this is not something that they will delete in a couple of months. They are keeping everything, because sometimes if they have a new algorithm that can compute new and find new stuff inside their data, they will use it again on the old data. So they are keeping everything. So they need limitless scalability. Support quality, I already said that. Ecosystem with 2CSI, but also we were compatible with iRoads. And the grid flaps technology that they are not actively using today, but as I mentioned, they are processing the data, of course, and the Grid for Apps is for them a way in the near future to use more OpenIO and to do more with their platform and to process the data where the data is stored. So this is something that we'll do with them later. We are already talking about that. And this was also a good point for them to say, okay, we can also process the data because this is their core and their main job is to process the data. So it was also very important for them. Okay.
Based on the Eraser coding versus hardware, so at ToSRSI we did a big sheet file to see what would be the best for ICM for their needs, so 3 petabyte, but not only the 3 petabyte, but in terms of number of drives and number of servers. If we look at key and M, key is I would say the number of usable nodes for storage, and M is the number of parity nodes, to do it simply. When you have let's say 4 servers of storage plus 2 of parity, you have at the end 50% more of hard drives. Okay, and at all you have 6 servers. The good choice was to find the right balance in between having not so much servers, because the servers will cost more and more, and not only have too many drives. So in that case, for ICM, the best choice was to take Eraser coding 9+3, which was the very good balance, the best balance, sorry, in between the number of servers, the number of GBODs, because we have some GBODs for the whole storage, and the capability to have less drive, but not only. So for the sizing, 9+3, as I said, it's 9 storage nodes plus 3 parity nodes. Okay. We can take 12 GBODs with only 40 hard drives of 8 terabytes in each GBOD, which can accept up to 60 hard drives. So the GBODs was just populated at 2/3 of their capacity. Instead of having at the beginning with replication, with hardware replication, 21 GBODs fully full of hard drives, we have just only 12 GBODs filled with only 2/3 of hard drives inside. So at the end, we reach 2.9 petabytes for their usable data, and just only 3.9 raw petabytes instead of 10 petabytes. That was the biggest challenge. So the final solution was to take 3 servers for the gateway. So the gateways are doing the Eraser coding. We have in this configuration, so this is the configuration. I don't have the 3 servers, sorry. We have in the middle 3 servers, so it's 2U servers with 4 nodes. So as you can see, each node here is connected to a GBOD and can control directly the 40 hard drives. And on top of that, OpenIO has been installed on each node, and is dealing with all the object storage. So the benefit for the ICM was to get good performances for sure. by having hardware and expertise from TuSRSI. The hardware behind that is from AGST, which is now called Western Digital. They changed the brand because they were bought by Western Digital. And all the software stack from OpenIO. If we look at the resiliency, at the beginning they wanted 3 replication for the data, which means they can lose 1 replication, they can lose a second replication, so only 2 replication. With the Eraser coding 9+3, we have 3 fault tolerances. Okay, so we have a better resiliency for the data. Regarding scalability, because we just put 2/3 of hard drives inside the Gboards, they are able to grow up from their first needs, so 3 terabytes, and then can grow up to a full full Gboard of 60 hard drives. So this is the first step in terms of scalability. Just put some more hard drives, but not only because if they want to increase their whole architecture, their whole infrastructure, they can add a new node. So 1 server with 4 Gboards, and they can increase a lot in that way. And as we said, we put for Grid4Apps inside the storage server. We give them, to ICM the possibility to do some calculation on their storage server. That means only the gateways are used to do the Eraser coding. Okay, so inside the servers you have processors for sure, you have a RAM, but those processors are not used at the full capacity, at their full power. So with Grid4Apps, it's possible to have some application running on the storage server, and depending on the load of each storage server, the Grid4Apps will, how can I say that, distribute the different loads. Is finished. If you have any questions, some remarks. Thank you.